Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Jessie, and welcome back to another episode of Rewire to Inspire. This show where we'll dive into self-love, learn tangible ways to rewire the brain, and discovering your soul's purpose. The goal of Rewire to Inspire is to encourage listeners to begin doing the hard work, to get curious and open to maximizing your life. Our mindset shapes how we live. Depending on life events, traumas, and personal experiences, our mindsets are all vastly different. However, one thing we all have in common is the ability to rewire our mind, to change the narrative, and to pivot our lives. I hope you leave each episode with the belief that you are so worthy to live a life true to you. I look forward to chatting with you every single Tuesday and Thursday and helping you grow exponentially in all areas of your life. Without further ado, here's today's episode. Hello, you guys, and welcome back to my podcast, Rewire to Inspire. I hope you are all doing so well and enjoying your November. I hope that, there's Christmas lights out where you are, maybe, or holiday themed stuff going on, and you're just soaking up the beauty that is around us this time of year. I know it's been super hard for me personally with dealing with the time change. I didn't realize actually gaining an hour of sleep was going to disrupt me so much, but I think more so than the sleep, it's that it's dark so early. And so I just wanted to give that reminder that we as humans are technically the only species that don't really prepare for winter. Intuitively, and our bodies kind of start to relax a little bit more, and we have a little less energy and we're a little more tired. And if you think about it, knowing that we're the only species that doesn't really prepare for that, it just kind of gives us that permission that everything else out there, like all animals and everything, they get ready for hibernating and to prepare for this shift, and we're the only ones that don't do that. And then we often feel like, oh my gosh, why am I so tired? I'm so frustrated. I just want summer back because this is terrible. But what if the seasons are a way to just communicate with us that our energies and ways of being is supposed to go with the seasons? We're not always supposed to be go, go, go. We're supposed to take time to, allow our body to have that rest for a moment, of course, while keeping momentum and continuing to do your things. But our bodies and our systems need that more sleep at this time of year and are needing that rest a little bit more. So I just want to give that permission, because I feel like everywhere I go, I hear folks sharing that they just feel really defeated this time of year. And, seasonal depression can start to kick in and all these things. And I deal with that really deeply. And I find using one of those happy lights is very helpful for me. Making sure I get outside when it is light out is super helpful. Taking time to make sure I'm hydrating and nourishing my body is super important. And so I just wanted to share that with you all and give you guys some tips and tricks today to just support our bodies when we feel like we're out of whack and we're out of control, and we just need to come back to feeling in our present body for a moment. And I really felt pulled to share this because the last couple meetings that I've been to for both my 9-to-5 job as well as my NLU position is everybody's just feeling defeated. And I always get so curious because I notice that our response is to be very negative about it, and not negative in a bad way, but negative in the way that we look at it. We think that at this time of year, we are we're less productive. There's this societal pressure to be stressed from November to January. And then come January, there's all this pressure to just change around your life and put all these massive goals and to just basically do a 360. And then we end up broke and burnt out in early February. And then we start the cycle all over again. And so for today, I just wanted to share some tips and tricks and ways that we can remember to come back to our body. Remember to just the importance of grounding ourselves and remembering what life is all about. I was having a conversation with my coworker today when we were driving, and we just were like, how we always say today could be our last, and to treat every day like it's your last, and to just treat everybody with kindness, and we never know what anybody else is going through. And I'm like, why don't we give that to ourselves on a daily basis? Why is it that we're so quick to give our energy and to give our kindness and to give our love to everybody else, which is such a beautiful thing, but we forget about ourselves? And even right now with the transition of time, our minds are telling us, you're less than because you're tired at 6 o'clock and because you don't want to go to the gym. And then we start to feel really bad and crummy about ourselves. And we were just having this really beautiful, honestly, conversation about why are we not just appreciating as we are every day and knowing that how we are and our energies and our mindset and everything, it's going to ebb and flow on different days, you know? And I really try to show up as best as possible when I'm around other people to just be kind and to share that. But sometimes my energy is just a little less some days, and that's okay. I mean, even right now, I'm wearing a shirt that says "Have a good day" on it. I just think it's so important that we can share that with other people. And that is really my first thing for you guys for today is how can we find the capacity when we're hurting within or when we're struggling within to turn outwards, to turn that to those around us. And I think this time of year it is about giving, but instead of it being stressful and overwhelming, how can we make it more about love and life and acceptance and just being kind without the monetary stress and pressure that comes with it? You don't have to get your best friend the brand new iMac to share and to show that you love and care about them. Coming back to maybe sending just a nice message of all the things you love about them. Maybe hand making them a list that they can have up in a nice frame all year round about the top 50 things that you love about them, right? Or maybe it's volunteering at a local homeless shelter and going and wrapping presents for families. Maybe if you have a couple extra dollars to spare and you want to support a family at getting a gift for a child or anything that they just don't really have the means to do that. Is there a way to give back where you live? Is there a way to just help even your neighbor shovel their driveway, right? There's so many little things that I think we've stemmed away from that are really the important things in life. And even when I think of myself, I'm going to be 24 next week. And I just really have to remind myself because I was raised in a home that gratitude and thankfulness was very, very important, but me and my brother kind of were spoiled and Christmases were always, over the top. And I'm so thankful that my parents gave us that in those experiences. And I hope that I'm able to replicate that in a way to my future kids, but in a different way, because I can just see the stress that comes with it. And it just takes away from things in life, the important things. And I think even outside of Christmas, that really sticks with us a lot of times. I feel a lot of pressure anytime it's someone's birthday. I never feel like my gift is good enough. I never feel like what I'm giving is good enough. And I think that that's because what I'm not able to give fully is the amount in which I love that person. No thing that I buy is going to ever duplicate the significance that those people have in my lives. And so the first thing for you guys that I want us to remember is, how can we begin to give our kindness and our love, but in a way that has nothing to do with money? And if you feel like buying gifts for families and supporting families is, something that would really fill your cup, then do that. I did that last year. I want to do it again this year because I think it's so amazing to be able to give even something small. Something small is just a way of showing kindness. It's just the pressure that we feel when doing those things. So that is the first thing that I want to share is how can we take just a moment during this season and throughout to really just spread kindness and more love. I think that that is what we're all needing. We don't need any more stuff in our lives. We all just have such an abundance of things. And it's like things will never and can never make us happy. They might make us happy for a second or for a couple days or whatever, but then it starts to fade away. I want you to, I'm going to challenge you right now to think of what you got for Christmas, not last year. Let's go 2 years ago. I want you to name me 3 things you got for Christmas 2 years ago. And if you can, that's amazing. I definitely can't. And that just shows me that not that those things weren't significant and that I wasn't thankful for them, but if there was a special note or somebody handmade something really cool, or there was an experience, or there was a conversation, or there was an opportunity to make a memory, I would have that in my mind. And so that is my message to just contemplate, because I think we think that if we don't get quote unquote presents, we are less than, or that's not Christmas. And again, we all have our values around the holidays and what that looks like. And some folks celebrate it and some folks don't. And that's okay. this is across the board, just in general, of the societal pressure that we have around these types of things, right? And so I just want to give that permission that if you feel like this year for the first time, maybe you can't afford to give a gift, I encourage you to give a piece of your heart instead, which is honestly, from my perspective, even better than anything that you could go buy. But I just want to, again, give that permission. I'm saying that a lot because I just want to share that, because even going to town, I see everybody right now. My partner's literally out shopping for my birthday and for Christmas, and I'm so thankful for that. But there's also a piece of me that's like, I don't need anything other than to make memories with him and to make new traditions for our family. And I'm just so excited about that piece. And so just know that revamping traditions is also something that can be done. We don't have to hold on to the same traditions that we've done for the last 20 years, especially if they're not bringing you joy. So that is the second piece that I want to bring in, is how are you allowing those around you to really get you to things that maybe you don't want to do, right? Maybe your family has a gathering every Christmas, and maybe this year you're like, I really just don't want to do that this year. And so that's really what it is honoring what it is that you are wanting and needing. We have this pressure all the time to keep those around us happy and to keep the peace. And because things were this way for the last 20 years, I don't want to be the one that breaks that cycle. And instead of viewing it as a negative thing, because me and my brother have been chatting about, changing the dynamic this year and revamping new traditions. And I just think that that's so cool that we're having those conversations, because that means that we're maybe setting up new change for the generations to follow us, right? For my nephew to grow up and experience the holidays a little bit differently than maybe we have for the last 20 years. And I think that comes down to, maybe you really love and feel a lot of fulfillment in your family traditions. But if you feel like maybe there's some that you want to say no to, know that saying no during the holidays is okay, just again, like any time of year. I think the principles that I'm sharing with you guys today were really triggered in my mind around the holidays, but these really ring true throughout the whole year, right? We get to choose the things that we do and don't want to do. And the more that we put in boundaries and really explain why, say, I love that we've been doing this for the last X amount of time, but I'm really feeling pulled to do this. And your family will understand. And if they don't, then maybe that's an even bigger sign of why those boundaries are so crucial to put in place in the first place. The next thing that I wanted to share with you guys that can be helpful, again, during the holidays, but really any time of year, is to keep the healthy habits and your habits that you've been working on throughout the whole year. So I feel like there's this weird thing that happens in November, December, where we don't want to work out. We just want to eat really bad food, and we want to sit on the couch and watch movies, which again is amazing. Listen and honor your body. But for some reason, we just try to push the working out side of things and being healthy to January, because we're new year, new me, and New Year's resolution and all these things that are great. But as I've chatted about so much on my podcast, we wait and we prolong these things because we want that instant gratification, right? We want to push these things off because if we push it off, then we don't have to worry about it until later, right? And so one thing that I encourage you to do that's super, super helpful for keeping your body at a state of homeostasis and to be stable is to keep the habits and things that you're already doing in the run of a day. That can really help with seasonal depression. That can help with the lighting that's changing. That can help with the time difference that's happening. That can help with the societal pressure that we're dealing with. If we can focus on as much in our control as possible and maintain those healthy habits, we already know the things that we can fall back on and the things that work for us. But also, we're not veering our body away from too many things. So when we really just stop working and we stop eating healthy and we stop hydrating and we sleep in and we do all these things, this happens in the summer as well. And on the weekends, when we take time off, our body is gonna have to adjust from that at some time. And it often hits us like a wall at the end of Christmas. We are just freaking exhausted. And the reason for that is because we've changed our regular routines and things that we're doing so much around the holidays that eventually, like I was saying, it's going to catch up with you. It catches up with us when we get burnt out. But then the thing is like I said, we wait for New Year's because we're like, oh, I'm gonna work out at New Year's because I set this goal, and then we push it. And then we get ourselves in these big flusters and our body's overwhelmed and it doesn't know what to do. And, we might feel more bloated than usual. We might feel like more tired than usual. We might be more moody. We might be all these things. And it just causes us to not be fully present. And I think that takes away again from that piece of what the holidays and what life is all about. And this podcast episode is kind of going in multiple different directions because I want us to remember this during the holiday season. But I also want us to keep these messages with us throughout, having boundaries with family, being able to say no, noticing the go, go, go mentality and the societal pressure of certain things, the gift buying piece and how much stress that causes on us, and the importance of, really bringing awareness to, do I think that I'm spending this money wisely, or do I just feel a pressure that if I don't, it's going to come back to me in some way? Are you breaking the habits that you've worked so hard to put into place all year just to let them really get out of momentum during the season? And so these things are important all throughout our life, but specifically important this time of year because it's only halfway through November when I'm recording this, and I'm already noticing just such an influx. And I really truly think that there is this societal anxiety lately, this has been kind of since the pandemic has happened, where we're already kind of dysregulated and overwhelmed as a society. And I really do think that is true. We're overwhelmed, we're overworked, things are expensive, things are stressful. We don't know where our world is turning. It's very unpredictable. There's just a lot of unsureness around us. And so I think that with the holidays, we think, this is the one thing I have control over, so I'm going to go all out and I'm going to do all these things so I can make everybody around me happy. But then we get left to feel unhappy. And I think that this really is going to ring true for moms and dads out there that are maybe trying to give their kids everything for Christmas. For the holidays. I'm trying to erase that word from my vocabulary. I particularly celebrate Christmas, but I understand that not everybody does. But that pressure that you must feel as a mom or as a dad or as a grandparent or whoever to give your kids and your grandkids the perfect holiday day. But just remember that if you can't be present and fully yourself and you're feeling burnt out and overworked and stressed during that day, our kids can feel that. And I remember sensing that from my parents of even hearing money stress after the holidays, and I felt almost icky that they had to work so hard to give me this great Christmas. And now when I'm older, it just allows me to be so much more thankful for them. But just reminding ourselves as the parents or as the gift giver or just whatever across the board, that pressure we feel, that if we're not good for ourselves, we're not good for those around us. And so I hope today's episode just gave you a little permission for the first time, maybe, to know that you don't have to have all your crap figured out. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to show those around you that you love and care about them. Maintaining that momentum and that consistency, I promise you, will make you feel so much better, because when we don't do things, we know that our self-worth takes a hit, especially if we tell ourselves we're going to do something and we don't do it. That will eventually catch up with us, and then we'll wonder why we feel certain types of ways. So I'm kind of giving a head of time warning that this happens, and it happens to all of us. And so let's just talk about it, and let's make it normalize that we all feel this way, and we don't have to, is really the permission that I'm trying to give. So I hope this lands, you guys, and I hope you know that if you have been feeling more tired, more stressed, more overwhelmed, more anything, know that you're not alone. Know that it's okay to feel that way. Know that you're worthy to go speak to a counselor or a therapist or to a friend that you trust or to whoever. Know that you're not alone, I think, is the biggest piece that we need to remember, because sometimes we really can feel alone in our feelings and in our emotions. And so I just want you to know that you're not. I'm right there with you, and so are many, many folks. Know that this month, just like any other month, it's about coming back to our body, feeling safe there, giving ourselves that self-love. It doesn't matter if it's December or if it's June. We all have to treat ourselves the same no matter what time of year it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this landed. I hope you know how thankful I am for you. And just know that we can make this year different. We can change how we show up this year and for the years moving forward. We can break those cycles. We can break those traditions and do the things that bring you joy and those memories that are going to come up for you in 2 years. Make this a memorable Christmas and a holiday season more than anything. So thank you guys so much as always. I hope you guys enjoy all the love, and I so look forward to chatting with you on Thursday. Bye, you guys. Thank you all so much for tuning into today's episode of Rewire to Inspire. I absolutely love connecting with you all, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. I am at JessieBrown13. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave a review or share with someone you think would enjoy. I look forward to chatting with you all next episode. And remember, get out of your head and into your heart.